Okay. Again.
Started. We always record one of our sessions that we present to you all. So we were just setting up our computers. So thank you for being patient with us. Sorry that it's raining, but at least it's better than like 1,000 degrees outside. So appreciate your flexibility. You're gonna need that going through this formal recruitment process. Hi, my name is Emily. I am the Panhellenic advisor. I'm the one who's been sending you so many emails, right? Lengthy emails. Sorry about that for newsletter number 2. She's lengthy. Same apology goes for this presentation. There's a lot to talk about tonight, this morning. None of it should be new. We've been in the Canvas class kind of getting some initial information about how the formal recruitment process works. This should be for review for y'all, okay? If it's not, don't worry, we'll figure it out, and we have awesome people here to help answer your questions. Like I said, lots of things to talk about. We're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing I wanna do is a land acknowledgement, and then we'll go into some announcements before we start heading into our material. Okay, so our land acknowledgement. Long before the University of Oklahoma was established, the land on which the university now resides was traditional home of the Caddo Nation in Wichita and affiliated tribes. We acknowledge this territory once also served as a hunting ground, trade exchange point, and migration route for the Apache, Comanche, Kiowa, and Osage nations. Today, 39 tribal nations dwell in the state of Oklahoma as a result of settler and colonial policies that were designed to assimilate Native people. The University of Oklahoma recognizes the historical connection our university has with its indigenous community. We acknowledge, honor, and respect the diverse indigenous peoples connected to this land. We fully recognize, support, and advocate for the sovereign rights of all of Oklahoma's 39 tribal nations. This acknowledgement is aligned with our university's core value of creating a diverse, inclusive community. It is an institutional responsibility to recognize and acknowledge the people, culture, and history that make up our entire community. Thank you for your time. Going over our land acknowledgement with the University of Oklahoma. A few announcements. You have received an email from the Fraternity and Sorority Programs and Services. Make sure you're looking over that email. And then my other announcement before we get started, y'all, we're gonna hear all the rumors this week. All the rumors. It's so fun. That's why programmers are here to help you kind of navigate what is and isn't true. We ask the chapters to kind of help us myth bust a little bit, and they help from like times that they've heard as a incoming student. And sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, if they hug you at the door, you're in, you know, or if you wear the certain color, you're in. Just stuff like that, but like, no, that's not true. One of the ones we've been hearing is that we have Panhellenic chapters on social probation. We have no Panhellenic chapters on social probation, okay? Maybe in other councils, but not in Panhellenic. So that's one rumor I can go ahead and squash for you. Speaking of our other councils, we are one of 5 Greek councils here at the University of Oklahoma. We are all within the fraternity and sorority programs and services. In a fraternity council, they're going to be doing their formal recruitment. It kind of aligns at the same time that we are doing ours. Our affiliate circle, Multicultural Greek Council, National Panhellenic Council, and then the Panhellenic Association. If at any time you have questions about, hey, like there are Greek opportunities all around campus, I would love to learn more information about it. Come find me, talk to your Rogamas, they have info as well. But I can also get you directly connected to one of my coworkers that directly oversees that council, okay? So I oversee Panhellenic, the Panhellenic Association. And I also are going to oversee affiliate circle starting the first day of the semester. So ask us questions. We would love to talk about all of our opportunities. On top of that, fraternity and sorority programs and services is in the Office of Student Life. We're kind of the best office on campus, like not to brag. But we have 3 wonderful departments. One of them again being FSPS. We also have campus programming. They do a lot of our campus activities council events. So retro night, dance marathon, like all the things on campus. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be from campus programming. But we also have our multicultural programs and services, finding identity, finding the community in our spaces. So to provide a bit more context about student life and welcoming you all here, I have the director of student life, the nicest guy on campus. You've probably seen him already, but please give it up for Mr. Puen.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna center myself right in this camera. Celebrity high recording. You guys can say hi to yourself when I say hi to you later. Hi, how's everyone doing today? Good? You guys get the late session today, so you guys can sleep in a little bit, right? Yeah, thanks, Emily. All right, yeah, exactly. So I wanted to make sure before we begin, I'm a big person on gratitude, right? Like, how lucky are we to be in college, right? How lucky are we that even though it's raining, it's like 8 degrees today, right? And so for me, I think perspective is always important. There's always a reason to be thankful, even if our lives are really hard. There's always things to be like thankful for. And so I just want to make sure like I can put that seed in your minds as you guys are going through this process, right? Because even when things seem like kind of out of control, you're like, what is happening? If you look back, you're like, man, I'm super lucky to be here. I'm super lucky to be at one of the best schools in the nation, right? I'm thankful to be part of one of the best Panhellenic associations in the nation, right? And so with that being said, I want to give a huge round of applause. I know Emily's on her phone because she's handling an emergency right now, but you all have no idea how lucky you are to have Emily as the lead of Panhellenic. She serves on her national board for Panhellenic. She has been working, Emily came in as a first generation college student, right? So some of you may be first gen here. She had scholarships to get to OU, so she had to find a way to pay for OU, and she found a way to make that happen. And she joined Panhellenic, did not know, no one else in her life that her family was Greek, joined Panhellenic, and then became her sorority's president, right? So for me, when I think about Panhellenic and how special it is, I think about people like Emily, who really their lives were transformed because of this experience, and how critical it was for her to, she didn't know any of these chapters before coming in. And what I love about OU is that we have 11 really incredible chapters. Your row gammas, your exec in the blue shirt, they are all from 11 of our chapters, right? And so there's places for everyone. But if we can we give Emily a huge round of applause for being our chapter right now? I think she's like in the past like 2 to 3 weeks, she's like for like 4 hours, which I do not recommend for any of you all. Okay, I need you all to get like 8 hours of sleep if you can. Okay, so tonight before round 1, just go home and sleep. Okay, and drink a lot of water too, because it's gonna get hot later on. So tomorrow round 1, we've got great weather for y'all. But I think it's really important. Again, thank you, Emily, and then also thanking our exec in the blue. If you want to give them a round of applause. And then all over the place. And then our row gamblers, we all have to give them a lot of love. They're going to be walking off the But really, I just want to make sure, welcome to OU. I want to make sure I welcome you all. Let you all know that you belong here. That's our motto in student life. And we really believe it. We believe that every student has a home, has a place, has a space here at the University of Oklahoma. We hope that as this process proceeds, that you can find your home in Panhellenic, right, and a sorority. And if that's the case, awesome. But we realize that y'all are more than just sorority women, right? You guys have so many different layers to them that make you special, right? You're brilliant. Some of you are artists, some of you are athletes, right? Some of you are scholars, maybe all 3. But you all of you are all 3 of those, right? So there's a lot of things that you guys are part of. And we hope that as student life, we can find that space for you, right? We have over 500 student groups on campus that you can be affiliated with. We've got different communities. What I love about OU is that we bring all these communities together, right? So a lot of other schools, you'll see Greek life on their own island. You'll see our multicultural office in our own island. You'll see campus activities in their own island. At OU, we believe in bringing all those people together because we believe in a world where different people can come together and learn from each other, grow from each other, and be better, right? And so we hope that regardless of what happens in Panhellenic, but as you come to OU student, that you feel that you can find places here where your identities, where you as a person, where your dreams can really thrive and grow. And so welcome to OU. I'm looking forward to seeing you all throughout the next few days. I know it's gonna be really sweaty. But remember, in those moments of like, oh, I'm so hot, or when things maybe not working out quite your way, to remember like, man, I've got a lot to be thankful for. A lot of people, my family, my friends, they invested a lot for me to be here. There's my Roganus, there's Exec, there's Emily, who have worked to try to make this the best possible experience. And I know that we can't wave a wand and make this experience like 100% positive for everyone, because that's not life. But what we can do is teach you how to grow and learn and get through some new experience and come out the other side a lot stronger, a lot better, and a lot cooler. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
I decided to throw my clicker.
I was that good.
I threw it at my boss.
So much
You're
joy.
awesome.
Great job.
Nicest person on campus. Like, I am so thankful that he is, I mean, Kylie, he's my boss, right? He's amazing. I'm so happy to be a part of his team. If you ever need anything, our office is always there, but Cleve's part is always there to support you. So, again, welcome to OU. Come hang out with us in the Office of Student Life. We are temporarily all three departments are located in this building right now. We're all in the back, huddled together in our little spaces, chair spaces. We will be moving to the Union, hopefully in September. We've got a new office and a new renovation. So big shout out to me. I get a window now in my office and I can't wait for my office plan. So again, come hang out with us. On top of that, we do an event called, did I just ruin the clicker? Oh no. Is it gone? No. Okay, we do an event called Coke Floats. Coke Floats is something that Student Life always hosts every first semester of the year. So in August, it's going to be that first Wednesday, the first day of school, the first week of school, excuse me. And come hang out with us, get a sweet treat. Yeah, thank you. Get a sweet treat and vibe with us. We'll be, I believe, in the courtyard of the Union. Yeah, come by and come hang out. On top of talking about Student Life and coworkers, give it up to Jasmine. She is over our campus programming and events for Greek Life, a Panhellenic woman of her time too. Went through this experience too. So we have a lot of wonderful alumni working here at OU, where our first job and our main focus is supporting you. So welcome to OU, y'all, and come hang out with Student Life. Panny Tech, we've talked about them. They're the folks in the blue. Give a little wave, Panny Tech. They're in the very back. Yay, Panny Tech. They've been working hard. They do all of the fun things, not so fun things. They are helping get this ship going. They're the people in the back that don't always get that acknowledgement for all of their hard work. And it's me at the end of the day being like, thank you for taking out the trash. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. So when you see them, thank them. They have a hard job to do. They serve on our council executive board. And so they step away from their chapters during these times to be here for Panhellenic to support you. So we always say PNM over Panhellenic. For them, it's PNM, Panhellenic, Rho Gamma, then Exec. We're supporting everyone, right? And then on top of that, we have our Rho Gammas. No, next slide. Thank you. We know who our Rho Gammas are. We get 2 sets of them. There are call group Rho Gammas that are with us right now. I'll email you this evening tour group Rho Gammas. Tour groups are only going to use them for round 1 because we go in these big tour groups to all the chapters. But your Rho Gammas have worked so hard. This is the hardest Rho Gammas have ever worked for formal recruitment or preparing for you. They had a 2-interview process structure. They had their own Canvas class. They had quizzes. They had things that when you have all these questions, when you do, and that's okay, we want you to ask questions, they're able to help answer those correctly, okay? We've never been so, I don't think we've ever been this prepared for our Rho Gammas before. And so if they don't know the answer, they're always going to refer to us. Always be flexible and be patient. We don't ever want to tell you the incorrect information. And so if they need to check in on that, that's fine. That's a part of life. I did that the other day on a phone call. Let me get back with you. You don't need to just answer immediately. So, they'll get back to us, I'll help them navigate it, and if I don't, I keep going up too. So, they're great, they're awesome resources, and they've stepped away from their chapters in this moment to be with you to help support you, so be mindful of that. They're missing out on some opportunities to be with their sisters, and just all the fun things that happen with preparing for work week and for formal recruitment. They're here and taking their time out to be with you, and that means the world. So, thanks to the Road Gammas. Panhellenic headquarters, like I said, we're in the back of Jim Thorpe. That's our number, but you have my number from all of my emails I've been sending out to you. Schedule overview. So now we're going to go kind of day by day, looking at the schedule. We've already seen the schedule, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I want to go ahead and just go on through it one more time. Round one starts tomorrow. So exciting. We're going to say for all of our rounds, there's max number of chapters that you can attend. Round one, you see all 11 chapters, a max of 11. What's going to happen is you're going to come here at 7:45 a.m. Take that time into consideration. It used to be a little bit later, about 15 minutes later, back when we could meet, where all of the buildings are construction right now. So we have to add in some time for y'all to get here and get here on time. With this, you have to be on time. You must be on time. 5 minutes early. We're gonna say that in a different slide. 5 minutes early to everything. This is a record-breaking amount of PNMs going through the formal recruitment process here at OU. Lots of people, lots of things to get organized. Be on time. With tour groups, we line you up alphabetically by your last name. I'm gonna send you an email that says you're gonna tour groups between a number between 1 and 20. There's only 20 tour groups. There's like 41 hall groups. And so there's going to be a number between 1 and 20. It may be your same hall group, Road Gammas. It may not. It's just kind of randomized. So what they're going to do is you're going to see a sign that says like tour groups 1 through 20, and you're going to find your number. Say I send you tour group number 8. You'll go to tour group number 8. The Road Gammas will be like, great, let me put you in alphabetical order. Be patient with them. They are trying to alphabetize all of you. So just be flexible and be ready to adapt in the moment, okay? This is the big thing. Communication ends with chapters at this point. Communication meaning DMs, text messaging, talking with them in person. All of that ends starting the process, okay? This is not for me to like cut your relationships in half with these folks, but it's gonna be helpful as we are navigating the process. This process is so confusing. Navigating what is and isn't correct information, okay? There's a whole lot of y'all to educate on how this works. There's like 3,000 of them to make sure that they are telling the correct information. Not everyone's gonna know everything, and that's a part of it, right? So that's why we say no communication with chapters starting round 1. If they are, you can say, hey, I'm good, have a good week, you know? Or just don't reply at all, right? All that communication should and must end starting tomorrow. Going into that evening, come hang out with Panhellenic again. We're gonna have snow cones. We're gonna have a snow cone truck here. So after you're done meeting with your hall group and your Road Gammas, you'll come to Jim Thorpe, or you don't have to. It's just an opportunity for you to come out, get a snow cone after going through a really hot day, and vibe with us, right? Well, vibes about building that community. Going into round 1, day 2. That next slide with you, Jeff. Thank you. Again, still a max of 11. You may see 5 chapters tomorrow and then 6 the next day, or 6 tomorrow and then 5 the next day. It's just orchestrated by your tour groups. So your Road Gammas know what's going on. Just trust them and just be the little ducklings following them on them, right? As you're going to all of our chapters and our schedules. Meet tour group leaders again, 7:45. During out here in this grassy area, you'll see these big red flags that I'm going to put down to tell you to line up in between them. Be early. If you still don't know what's going on, I didn't know when I was going through formal recruitment, just know I need to be dressed and ready with whatever t-shirt color they told me to wear by 7:45 here, right? We'll move your body in the right area. Okay, the difference between day 1 and day 2, now we're starting to enter selections. We enter selections at the end of each day, each round, I should say. So this is day 2 of round 1, selections need to happen now going into round 2. We'll do a little example in here in a bit, as far as how selections work, looking at an example of like round 2 going into round 3. But selections all occur with your hall group row gammas, rounds 1 through 3. Round 4 is completely different. You don't make them with your row gammas, you come in row gammas, you come to Jen Thorpe and we sign this document called the Leadership Recruitment Acceptance Binding Agreements. We're gonna have a whole separate training with prep selection. So just be mindful of that. It will come. I'm gonna spit some words out to you that will make sense after that training, okay? All happens on the companion app, and you'll also fill out this thing called blue card, selections card. But you do that all with your row games for rounds 1 through 3. Okay, an example of a selection. I know we haven't gotten to round 2 yet, but just stick in this moment for me. Okay, so yeah, you're good. I'll tell you when it's good because it has like animations and things like that. Okay, so selections. Mutual selection process for formal recruitment. Mutual selection process. As the chapters are making decisions, you are making decisions as well. So think with me for a second here. Round 2, max of 8. The max of 8 chapters. Like I said, there's a maximum number of chapters you can be invited back to for each round. This is looking at someone who does have a full schedule. We've shown you data on your Canvas class of how people love to create success and identity in a full schedule. Honey, you just got a busier day. So be mindful of that when we're talking with friends. Like any schedule is a beautiful schedule, and we need to be grateful and be grateful, be happy about it. With round 2, so this is an example of we just finished round 2, max of 8. In this example, we do have a full schedule listed. And do you mind if I hand it up there? Fine, yeah, works for me. No. Okay, so max of 8 right here. So this student visited 8 chapters. 1, 2, 3, 4, they're just randomized chapters up there, right? As you are making your selections, the app's always going to have you making your selections going into the max number of parties for the next day, okay, the next round. This one, we had a max of 8. This example does have 8 chapters listed here, but that's why there's 5 chapters listed up top. What we say is list your top ranked chapters as number 1. On the app, it's always going to say like 1, 1, 1 for all of those 5 that are top listed. The ranking then does matter for everyone that's below that dotted line. So chapter number 6, chapter 7, it'll say 2, 3, 4 next to it. If you've been in my training for RFN, you'll see an example of what your phone is going to look like on the companion app. If this is not making sense right now, you'll visually see it when we are making our selections for rounds. Okay, so all of those chapters that are up there, they're all ranked as number 1. Ranking does not matter for the chapters we have listed up top. Ranking does matter for the ones that are below. So ranking does matter. It's going to be number 2, 3, and 4 for chapters 6, 7, and 8. Next year, I'm going to change it to like literally fake chapter names, so it's not like confusing with the numbers that's on the screen. So I know it's a little confusing. Realize that this morning. Okay, so next slide, please. This is the PNM entering their selections. Next slide. The little check marks say, okay, the PNM wanted their selections, sent in their selections, the chapter sent in their selections. They're gonna go see these people back the next day for chapter 1, 2, 4, 5, whoever that might be. What about chapter 3? Next slide, please. Chapter 3. So the student wanted to see them, they're high ranked on their list. The chapter did not invite them back the next day. Next slide. What's going to happen is with RFN, release figure methodology, it's mathematics behind how formal recruitment works. It's going to try to pad your schedule as much as possible, right? So that's why we say ranking doesn't matter for your top chapters. They're all going to be listed as number 1. Your bottom 3 ranking does matter because if you have opportunity to fill your schedule, the system's going to pull, okay, these were all 1s. What was the chapter as 2? What was the chapter as 3? And so it'll start trying to put those on your schedule. Okay. And we're good. That's a quick visual of how RFM works. Your screen, your PNM companion app is just going to show you what you're entering, right? You're not going to see cute little check marks and things like that. So visual how that mutual selection process works. We're going to see it on our companion app when we enter our selections next. No need to fret if that did not make sense. Your road gammas are here to help answer those questions. Round two, again, like I said, max of 8 chapters. We just saw an example of it. This is when personalized schedules begin. Okay, tour groups, like I said, we just kind of follow along with our tour groups. We see all 11. This is where we see those decisions by the chapters and yourself coming into play based off of the selections you made after round 1 going into round 2. So, schedules are distributed on their hall floor starting at 8:15. Your road gammas are going to have either hall floors or your meeting location if you are living off campus. They will have that stuff organized. They'll hand it to you. That will be your schedule for the day. It is a part of the process, and we always need to make sure that we understand that this is a possibility that happens. Complete release. Complete release means a PNM was not invited back to a chapter. It does happen. The stats from the last previous years are getting smaller with how many people are affected by it. Last year was only 7 folks that were affected. And of the all total going through formal recruitment, it was 0.6% affected. So it's a very small number, but it is a part of the process. It does happen. If a student is completely released, it starts when we know that information. It would start on the rounds that have personalized schedules. Okay, everyone goes through round 1. Everyone sees everyone. Students can become completely released starting on round 2. It happens for each of the rounds as well. The possibility for each of the rounds. Okay, lunch on your own. You have lunch with your tour group, or they say, hey, go to lunch, meet us back right here on round 1. You need to figure out lunch for yourselves starting round 2, okay? If you don't think you can make it back between this chapter to that location where you want to have lunch, pack a snack with you, drink water, take care of your body. Withdraw. So it is a possibility that a student can withdraw during formal recruitment. And it's hot. So what that looks like, if you want to self-select out of the process, there's a required window for you to do so. If this is anyone's like maybe second time going through the formal recruitment process, things are going to feel a little bit different this year. We have reorganized our structure, so everyone just zero in with me. If you think it's going to run exactly like last year, things have changed a little bit, okay? So there is a withdrawal window. If you would like to self-select out, you must complete your schedules for the day and then attend to the withdrawal window starting that evening. We do this because it happens every year. A student will withdraw, and then an hour later, after, you know, like we said, they've calmed down, we've talked through like stressors and coping and things like that. They're like, wait, I want to do it again. And it's too late. You're already processed out, your information off campus director, like it's too late. So that's why we also had that presentation of like, take a beat, take a pause, drink some water, figure out how you can get to a state that you're like, okay, this is not great for me right now. Like I'm not feeling so hot, but let me figure out ways that I can get myself in a better zone, right? Like right now, I haven't had breakfast yet and it's noon. So Emily needs to listen to my training that I did and eat something too. So again, withdrawal windows, if you want to withdraw, if you want to self-select out, you have to do it during the window, okay? All right. Hall floor meetings and selection, 8 p.m. That starts to copy, paste, repeat, rounds 1 through 3. Round 3, max of 5 chapters you can be invited back to, personalized schedules, complete releases are notified that morning, lunch on your own. The previous days, the schedule stops for chapters and yourselves that we have a lunch window. We do not starting for round 3. You got to figure that one out on your own. I know that's a little intense, but if we did break, we would be going till like 11 p.m. that night, right? So, look at your schedule. When you're getting it in the morning, say, okay, I'm not going to have time to stop for lunch, grab all the snacks and go. If you are in need of a snack or something, if you start to feel ill or something like that, we'll figure it out. We'll find a road gamma, okay? Yeah, same thing in here. Schedule distributed on all floors, withdrawal window, hall floor meeting and selections. This is the last night you'll make selections with your road gammas. Okay, another big part of round 3, financial transparency. The chapters are gonna talk about and disclose their financial commitments everyone has to uphold. In a Greek organization, there's always different commitments that you will experience. The social aspect, academic, time, financial. We want to hang out with our folks. We have to be academically set and have to hold a certain GPA in order to stay active in our organization. There's also a financial commitment, okay? During my time in 2013, going through formal recruitment, it was very much like a thing that you did not talk about money. Very unfortunate that we could not have those opportunities. Just like we said, I'm a first-gen student. I needed to talk about finances. I needed to talk about scholarships, and that's okay. You know, we are asking these questions, and now we're creating space that we can do this. Okay, so just as we say, this is the interview process. This is your time to ask those questions. Any time of the chapter is to ask questions that you have. So, go ahead and go to the next slide. Oh, great. With the financial transparencies, chapters have disclosed kind of 3 figures throughout your experience. It's going to be the new member year, member in-house year, so living in, or member out of house. Depending on where you're at in the experience, depends on like what type of finances are happening with the chapter, okay? And this is a QR code for our financial transparency reports. It's what's been in the guidebook, it's what's been on our website. It's each chapter, these 3 figures listed. Next slide, please. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna take those big numbers and break them down and say, okay, new member year, expect a badge fee, international fees. Every year you pay Panhellenic dues to us, this local Panhellenic. Parlor fees, meal plans, things like that. They're going to break down based off of the what time it is in your experience, what the financial commitment looks like. Again, ask questions, ask about scholarship. They should be able to answer those questions. And if not, say, okay, you can't answer that. Go find me someone who can. This is your time to ask those. We also understand too that you're going to be thrown a lot of figures in your face all day. We're going to be grabbing those slides and those presentations from the chapters and putting them on your Canvas class so that you can refer back to them later if you completely like black out from looking at all these numbers every day, okay? Or all day. So you will be able to look back at this information if you need to talk about it, all things like that. Okay, so round 4, that was all round 3, round 4. Round 4 feels like completely different because we do things in the mornings, we have trainings in the mornings, just kind of like this one. And then we have our parties starting in the evening. They're more ceremonial, they're more serious. Chapters will sing, they'll cry, like it happens. You might cry as well. Like this is the time when they're like unfolding every piece of their heart and why they love their organization. Everyone's exhausted and emotional at this time. I cried and didn't realize I was going to, but you're tired, right? So round 4. Logistics wise for like the rounds and everything's the same. Personalized schedules, complete releases, trainings with FSPS. You'll complete, everyone in a Greek council, the 5 Greek councils, has to complete 3 mandatory trainings with FSPS. You'll do 2 of those 3 mandatory trainings here in this room, just like this. The last training you'll do is not required to be a member of Greek Life, but is required as we are going to make our selections for round 4. Like I said, selections for round 4 are completely different. You'll come here to Jen Thorpe, we'll sign this binding document called the Membership Recruitment and Acceptance Binding Agreement, or RABA for short, because it's a lot to say. Basically says if I'm matched to a chapter, if I understand the decisions I'm about to make. We'll go over the decisions you can make that evening in that training for that morning. But once you're done with your last step, with your last party, you immediately come to Jen Thorpe. We'll give you your Maraba. You'll make your selections on your phone with an OU staff member in the room. No students are allowed in the room. And we'll send you on your way. Okay. Big day, the holiest of days. Ooh. Unmatched PNMs, snap bidding, we'll go over that more in our presentation, and I'll talk about snap bidding a little bit more later on. Visitors distributed at 4 o'clock and dorm room / designated meeting area. So, we say they're distributed later in the afternoon so that you are preparing for the first day of school the next day, the immediate next day. Take this time to sleep for your class schedule with your road gammons if you want, with your friends. Look ahead on Canvas, smiley face, so that you are just looking ahead and preparing. That's why we did the Canvas class, so you can get used to using Canvas and to send you all the resources, and mandatory training. But take this time to prepare. If you have friends, families, whoever, they need to be out of your meeting location, your dorm room, whatever that might look for you, by 3:45 p.m. Out of the building, out. We need to be able to get to students. So if we have to sidestep like Mimi, Papa, Aunt, like I just looked at all of my family members. Like I would be like throwing bows to get to y'all, right? Get them out of the building. Thank you for coming, parents and families. We appreciate you, but you need to be out by 3:45 so we can do our jobs, okay? It is your responsibility. I've said this to every student. It is your responsibility to text them, call them and say, I'm going here. They're gonna call me and be like, where is my daughter? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's that information is protected and I'm not gonna tell them that. Your responsibility to tell them. We've already prepared them that like, it's chaos. So if you don't immediately hear from your student, like give them a beat. They're like running to South Creek or North Creek. So, be in contact with them, 3:45 p.m., everyone out. Advice. Like I said, 5 minutes early, hell, 10 minutes early, if you're feeling it. Be 10 minutes early to everything. There's so many people to get organized. You've got to help us by being present so we can get this ship floating, right? Golf carts. If someone has requested access for a golf cart, they are needing that service, we've provided that. We've been able to provide that to them, right? If you see a golf cart, they have a job to do. They mean business, right? They are not going to be able, if you say, can I get a golf cart ride? They're going to tell you no, okay? Because sometimes we are trying to work with student schedules. Something happens, we got to immediately get someone over here, or someone has practice. Like we have minutes to be working with before those doors open. And everything has to be scheduled, right? It's such a rigorous process. They've got things to do. Keep going. Just as we say, be 5 minutes early to everything. If you're late, keep getting to the location you're trying to get to. Road gammas are stationed around to be like, where are you going? You're like, I don't know. And they help you and they're like, run that way. So they will be stationed to help you out. 9 times out of 10, we can get you in and keep going, okay? If you think you're gonna be late, you still need to get there because we have processes to get you going, okay? Get there, we'll figure it out. If that door completely closes and it's been missed, we've got a process. Trust us, we've been doing this for a while. Camp Crimson. I hope you've enjoyed Camp Crimson. A lot of the required stuff has been completed at this time for any campers in the room. They still have events going on throughout the week. So be with us for your schedule. You have mandatory things. All parties are mandatory. We cannot pick and choose if we don't want to go to one. You will be removed from the process if you do that. But if you have time and you want to go to camp, hang out with your small group, please do so. We encourage it, okay? What about round 4? We talked about round 4 with selections. This looks different, and we just want to make sure we're making sure we're aware of that. Roles and expectations kind of led into that a little bit with my last point as far as schedules. Sleep. You must sleep. Oh my God, get more hours than me. No parties, alcohol, drugs, etc. If you do this, you will be automatically removed from formal recruitment. Always. It always happens. I always figure it out who it was. We have ears everywhere. I call that student, I let them know, I've just processed you out of formal recruitment. Thank you for your time. Don't do it, okay? This is the part of the presentation where I get scary. So, party schedule. Everything is on your schedule, meeting times, parties that you're invited back to, mandatory. Everything's mandatory. I wouldn't put it on your list if it wasn't, okay? Because I don't like taking more time off of your availability than I like to, okay? If you decide to pick and choose, I will find out, I will also say, hey, we can't do that. Everything's mandatory. When you miss it, you've missed it. I'm gonna process you out of the system, okay? Not pick and choose, all right? That's rude. That's not being respectful to our chapters. And that's the thing I cannot stand the most. If we're gonna be mean, disrespectful, I'll process you out. We're not gonna do that. They've spent hours, time to prepare for you. Exec, row gammas, we've spent time preparing for you. We're not gonna be disrespectful. I always understand if you need to process and rant. I'm always gonna be here to support you during those times. Your row gammas are gonna be here to hear everything. We're just not gonna be like that. We're adults, okay? I will take you out of this. Well, phones. If someone is needing their phones inside the building, they've already let us know. It's due to medical reasons, and we understand that. No phones allowed in the chapter facilities. All belongings, literally only thing you're gonna have as you're entering the facility is your body and like your name tag, right? You're going in, you're talking, you're engaging, you're being respectful to our chapters. Everything else stays outside. Row gammas watch your stuff and make sure nothing happens to it. If it starts to rain, because it will rain at some point, it always does, they will grab your stuff and move it inside. Okay, this is also the point that we say don't bring your most like expensive Gucci bag or whatever, because it will rain. And sometimes, for 1 year, I saw like a really expensive bag just like floating down South Creek. So like, ooh, right? Dude, if you're trying to flex on the chapters with your bag, they're not going to see it. They're inside trying to get organized. Leave that stuff out home. Name tag, if you lost your name tag, I've been nice and I reprinted it for you. From now on, it's a $5 charge to reprint your name tag. That baby is gold, okay? Do not lose it. The chapters need to know as you are entering the facility, your row gammas are gonna be there, help make sure the wind doesn't catch it and it starts flailing in the wind, that it's front, so they need to know, I'm gonna go pick up Emily Ahern at the door. There's Emily Ahern, great. It's all for a reason, right? You'll see it, it's kind of crazy how they all do it. But name tags are important, $5 if you lose it and I have to reprint it. We work in education, y'all, okay? We don't have all the money. Okay, all right, thank you. Bid promising. This is where we're talking about where communication is so important in stopping that with the chapters. Bid promising happens when a chapter like dictates that you're gonna be invited back the next day before selections, you receive that invitation, things like that. Sometimes it's a mistake, right? We'll be at the door leaving and that chapter member will be like, I'll see you later. And you're like, great, see you then. In that moment, you're just saying bye, right? But sometimes it's taken that like, oh, they said see you later. I'm getting invited back the next day. You like skip away, so happy. The chapter member is like, oh shit, I just messed up. And their chapter team's like, what did you just say? That's bid promising. It's saying, I'll see you tomorrow when we don't even know what's gonna happen tomorrow, right? No one's entered selections at this point. Chapters enter their selections later at night. Y'all do it later at night too. So honest mistakes happen. You'll be able to tell when it's an honest mistake. Last year, it was an example I heard kind of frequently was that it was on preference and PNMs were being told by a chapter like, oh my God, we're so excited for you tomorrow. This is the colors we're wearing on bid day. This is our theme. And that student did not get that chapter. It was rough. So this is why it's important when we say, talk to your row gammas, talk to Panhellenic, so we can help you navigate what's going on, right? It's never my place to like tell the chapters what they always have to be saying, right? Like, that's not my place. But if something seems off to you, you can say, I'm gonna ask our row gamma about that because if they're texting you, they shouldn't be, right? But if they say something that you're like, that doesn't seem right based on all the training and things that we've talked about, that's when you need to reach out to us, okay? And say, okay, just ignore that, keep going, right? We know it's true, we went over it, we're fully ready to make these decisions and we're gonna help you navigate this process. Okay, I'm getting closer to the end. Lessons learned from 2022. Last year, we had a lot of students who wanted to self-select out of the process, which is always a decision you can make. But we were getting a little confused on how the informal recruitment continuous open bidding, quote unquote process works. Informal recruitment is vastly different from formal recruitment. 2 minutes, perfect. Formal recruitment is what we've all signed up for right now. It's structured, there's scheduled, invitations, tours, rodeo events, like all that is a part of our structured design formal recruitment. If you were able to stay in the process, if we're not completely released, ISP unmatched, what we'll talk about again on preference, what that means. And then we don't self-select out. I'm taking myself out of the process. This formal recruitment process is designed to match you somewhere. Designed to match you by the end of it, okay? We'll talk more about that on prep, what that exactly means as far as maximizing your options, but it's designed to match you. This time in formal recruitment, everyone is eligible. For informal recruitment, not everyone is eligible. We've recently gotten new things from the National Panhellenic Council or Conference, excuse me. They oversee all Panhellenic chapters. They oversee all Panhellenic chapters. We have 11 of the total 26 Panhellenic chapters just in the world here at OU. They've come out with new rules, new guidelines, new things as far as how COB, total, all these technical things happen. In recent years, we've seen about 5 or 6 chapters eligible for COB. Eligible to offer COB bids, but never required to, okay? That's a decision that the chapters need to make themselves. With that this year, there's new total setting methods and things like that, that I just don't know who's gonna be eligible, how many are gonna be eligible until I get to bid day, really. I won't know. So if you're saying, if you're coming in and you're saying, okay, informal recruitment, there's like 5 or 6 chapters that are always eligible, I don't know that right now. So if you ask me that, I will not know. What we're gonna do this year that will be different, once we are able to reset campus totals, see who is COB eligible, we're gonna post those chapters on your Canvas class, okay? We get a question all the time, who's eligible, and I'm usually would say, you know, these are these chapters, you can call us and ask which ones. But please know, if you're trying to bank on informal recruitment to get a bid, it's risky. It's not a wrong process, it's just a risky decision to make. Going into some stats from last year, for a matched PNM means that they were matched to the chapter at the end of the process. Unmatched, they were not matched to the chapter, right? We had 76.3% in 2022 matched. And unmatched, so that means completely released, intentional single prep, again, we'll talk about that, and self-selecting out, withdrawal. 23.7% were unmatched by the end. You're good. So the stats right here are saying of those that were unmatched, 0.6 of the 23 were completely released, 6.7 ISP unmatched, 90.5% self-selected out, and of the unmatched PNMs. Okay, go into the next slide. So when talking about informal recruitment, when talking about SNAP bidding, there's so many things that have to fall into place for us to be eligible for SNAP bidding. And then we just talked about COB. So many things have to fall into place to be COB eligible, right? COB eligible chapters. You have to be an unmatched PNM. You cannot have a bid to a chapter and try to do another bid through informal recruitment. The chapter has to be eligible, all these things like that. Of those that were eligible, PNMs who were eligible for a COB bid, they were unmatched. Only 32% were offered a bid through the informal recruitment process or informal recruitment, okay? Why I don't like to say process is because you may reach out to a chapter that's COB eligible and say, I would love to talk with you about your experience. Let's chat about it. They may say like, hey, we are eligible, but we're not taking anyone, you know? Or you may not hear from them. Informal recruitment could be coffee dates. It could be an event like that they host for eligible chapters, but they don't have to get back in contact with you, okay? There's no process in that like it is for formal recruitment. So, go ahead and go to my next slide. I want to clarify that like these processes are not bad. They're never bad. They're never bad. They are just other ways to be offered a bid, potentially. They're just, the point I really want to make here, it's risky to rely on them, okay? If we have invitations, if we have a like schedule for that day, that's amazing. Do you want this experience? You gotta keep going, you know, like it's designed to match you to a chapter by the end of it. Go ahead and send that. You need to ask yourself the following: do I want to have a Greek experience, or do I just want a specific chapter? Right? If I want this Greek experience and I have the opportunity to stick with it, right? Stick with it. It's just a lot to be like, I'm gonna self-select out and I'm gonna COB this chapter. You're trying to predict the future because again, I don't know if they're eligible. We don't know how many are eligible. We don't know if they want to offer the things. There's just so many factors off that I wanted to make sure that we all were for sure on how that process kind of works before it all begins. Okay, there's a big confusion last year. Advice, we're almost there. Again, we talk about these things to provide you tools for making your own decisions. I always empower you to make your decision for yourself, right? Like I wasn't ready when I was in your shoes to make these hard decisions for me. And I want to provide tools to get you in that situation that you do feel empowered in that moment. Other advice, breathe. Take a deep breath. It's Greek flag, it's not the end of the world. Maybe this is your first year, incoming year. You have the rest of college to look forward to. Take a deep breath, everything's gonna be okay. Take care of your body. We talked about ways of taking care of your body. Some of that is just like things that you need, like water. I need more water, my mouth is dry. Take care of your body, rest, do all the things you need to do to be your 100%. This is all interview experience. This is giving you that time to practice interviewing skills. Interview the chapters, okay? Ask those hard questions. Trust your gut. You're gonna hear 1,000 times, trust the process. Like, no. This is a misinformation because sometimes like, okay, I'm gonna trust the process that everything's gonna work out fine and dandy and I'm gonna be happy. We've seen data that like sometimes this doesn't work out in our favor, right? We're going to be rejected and it's gonna hurt. Trust that gut of when I need to make a decision for me, or it says, you know what, maybe I just need to grab my favorite snack and keep going because I'm unhappy right now, but I'm still interested. I want to see how this day unfolds. Okay, that's exactly what I did during fall recruitment. I popped in my favorite movie and I was like, all right, you've got mail. Get me into higher spirits because I'm sad because I just got rejected and it hurts. It really does. So trust me, I feel you when that happens. Like I said in my training, it's fun being ghosted. So much fun. We're here to support you. Okay. And then, like I said, drink lots of water. Sorry, you can go ahead and go to the next slide. I want you all to know we're here for you. There's like never gonna be this amount of people in your corner supporting you as it is right now going through homework recruitment. It's confusing. I just like spit at you like all this technical jargon and stuff. Ask the questions and please know that it's been my primary focus to make this as simple and easily understandable process as you possibly can. So please ask those questions. And with that, have a wonderful, wonderful week. We're here for you. We're ready to talk. Come hang out with us. We're gonna try to organize this exit in a better organized fashion. But thank you for your time. Thank you for paying attention and have a fabulous week. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.
Bye.